we saw the story of a merchant's son, from Rewari to an emperor's throne. No army, no throne, no birthright. He built all three from scratch. 22 battles across India, not one defeat. He walks into Delhi, he is crowned, but he only gets 29 days. Because Panipat happens. Today, we uncover what Panipat cost him. The arrow has found its mark. Hemu is unconscious on Hawaii. His army can't see him. The rumor spreads. The king is dead. In a moment, the dynamics at Panipat change. The Mughals, who were already preparing to flee, suddenly find themselves winning. Hemu is found unconscious in his howdah, wounded, bleeding, alive, and brought before a 13-year-old boy. Here is where we see history branching into two, where often the first version goes like this. Bairam Khan turns to the 13-year-old Akbar. Strike him, earn the title of Ghazi, slayer of enemies. And Akbar refuses. I do not strike a man who is already dead to the world. A merciful young prince, a chivalrous moment. Beautiful story. But the second version, compiled from primary sources, tells a completely different story. Historian Ahmad Yadgar writes that Akbar did not hesitate. He struck the unconscious Hemu across the neck. Bairam Khan finished it. The merciful young prince was a myth, built by the same empire that needed Akbar to look great and Hemu to be forgotten. And just like that, a man who is so ambitious is just a mere speck of dust. And it does not stop there. The deed is done, but the empire isn't finished. To make a statement, the Mughals ship Hemu's head to Kabul and display it on the city gates. Proof for every Afghan who still doubts that the man they followed is dead. His body is hung outside Purana Kila, the same fort where he was crowned, just 29 days earlier. The vengeance doesn't stop at Panipat. Mughal forces march on Alwar, Hemu's home, hunting down what's left of his family. They find his father, Rai Purandas, an old man, a priest who'd long since left that life behind. They give him one choice: convert to Islam or die. He refuses, and so they execute him. His wife manages to escape. Where she goes after that, nobody knows. Alexander had Bucephalus, Pratap had Chetak, Hemu had Hawaii, and even the elephant isn't spared. He's captured, along with 120 others, Hemu's entire war elephant corps, and absorbed straight into the Mughal army. The elephant that carried Hemu through 22 victories now carries the empire he almost destroyed. By the spring of 1557, almost everyone connected to Hemu is gone. Hemu dies once on the battlefield. He dies a second time in the history books. Not by accident, on purpose. Start with the strangest detail in the whole record. Abul Fazl, Akbar's own court historian, even the man writing Akbar's own legend admits, killing Hemu may have been a mistake. But that admission doesn't make it into the story that survives. What survives is the myth, the merciful prince, the Ghazi, a man worth keeping alive, written out in favor of a version where he was never worth more than a kill. That's erasure number one. Erasure number two comes 300 years later. British colonial historians need Indian history to fit one story. Hindu kings, Muslim invaders, two clean sides. Hemu ruins that story completely. A Hindu commander leading a Muslim army against another Muslim army. He doesn't fit either side. So, historians do the simplest thing available to them. They leave him out. And so, a man who ruled Delhi disappears from the story of Delhi. Here's the question this story leaves behind. What if that arrow had missed? No Akbar the Great, no Mughal Golden Age, no Taj Mahal. Instead, a trader's son would sit on the throne of Delhi, not for 29 days, for years. His father wouldn't have died refusing to convert. He'd have lived to see his son's reign continue. His wife wouldn't have vanished into nowhere, hoping no one found her. She'd have ruled beside him. Havai wouldn't have ended up carrying the empire that hunted his rider. He'd have carried Hemu into old age. None of it would have had to happen. But here's what's easy to miss. This is a man who lost battles too, who chased the same enemy across half of India when his first chance to finish him slipped away. Twice. Who kept building, kept fighting, kept showing up, long before anyone called him emperor. And in the end, an arrow he never saw coming decided everything anyway. That's the part of this story that isn't really about Hemu. You don't get to control the arrow. You only get to control whether you showed up fully before it found you. Hemu did. This is Crown and Pulse. This was the 29-Day King. See you next week.